Okay, guys, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Christian Baker. I know it sounds kind of a little off the topic of guns, knives, self-defense, but it is a political thing in America. It is a rights thing in America. Now, Christian Baker, a couple years ago, entertained a gay couple. He baked them at least a dozen cakes. And this guy is very personal about his cakes. He likes to draw artwork on them. He likes to make it into like a masterpiece. And he baked them a dozen cakes or more over the course of a couple of years. They came to his shop and they said, "We're gonna get married, and we need to have a wedding cake." And he said, "I'll give you a plain wedding cake, but I can't decorate your wedding cake. Or I can give you a dozen other things to bring to the wedding." And he felt really bad, so he started calling around to other bake shops, asking other bake shops if they would help them. And he told the couple, "I baked a dozen things for you already. I'll bake a dozen more in the future, but I'll even give you a blank wedding cake, but I can't personalize a wedding cake because it violates my religion." Okay? And some fundamentalist Christians are a little judgmental. They will say, "I don't believe in this, therefore I'm not going to participate." Catholics like myself are a little more lenient. We're not as judgmental. Okay? Catholics only judge you when you rape children and torture animals and shit. Okay? Okay, we're told not to judge, or to judge as little as possible. So from a Catholic guy's point of view, I don't give a fuck what you are. I'll bake the cake because I want the money. But yeah, so they were suing him. So they filed a complaint against him with the city. He was fined $100,000 for discrimination, and it went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court recently ruled you don't have to comply. Here's why. In 1993, every Democrat in Congress, every Democrat in the Senate, which includes Democrats still sitting today, passed a law that was signed by Bill Clinton himself that says no American citizen, which includes business owners, can be forced to do something that they believe violates their religion. And that was the example in Hobby Lobby, where Hobby Lobby was told you have to pay for abortions. Okay, and Mike Huckabee gave an example about a kosher deli with selling pork wrapped shrimp. Now, kosher is Jewish food. Now, there are some hardcore Jews that own delis and they make their food according to the Torah. And the Torah says, always separate vegetables from meat, never put it on the same plate, never cook it on the same grill, never. I mean, you could literally have a kosher Jew at your house, and you could show him meat and vegetables together, and he won't eat. Okay, and these guys open delis. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple of delis where I live, and a couple of times I went in there because I wanted dinner to take home. I said, I need dinner to take home. Go to a kosher deli. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I'll eat it in front of me. But these are very hardcore Jews that read the Torah, and they're limited to what the Torah tells them to make you. Okay, and it's good food. I'm not gonna lie. Now, if I were to go to a kosher deli, and I would have told the guy who runs it, who's a fanatic Jew, "I want you to make me pork wrapped shrimp." Well, he, being hardcore Jew, is forbidden from eating shellfish, and he's forbidden from eating pig dishes, pork, bacon, anything with pig in it. And he's also forbidden from making it for me. So he would tell me politely, "I can make you anything except that." Or he would tell me, "A friend of mine is a Polish Catholic or some shit, and he owns a deli down the street, and he'll make you anything you want. Okay, he can do that, but he can't make it for me. Same thing if I go to a Hindu guy, and I ask the Hindu guy to make me a steak. Okay, they won't do it because they believe it violates their religion. It doesn't matter if your religion is right or wrong. It matters that it violates your religion. And I gave a couple of examples to remember my friend, the college professor? Yeah, her idiot friends were online again, and I gave a couple of idiot friends a couple of examples. Most Jews won't do tattoos. And it's not because of the Holocaust, tattooing the serial number, no. The Torah forbids marking the body, so a lot of hardcore Jews will not do tattoos. More liberal Jews, they don't give a fuck. Now, you might have a Jew who owns a tattoo shop, and he's a little liberalized, so he'll do tattoos, he don't give a fuck. Well, if I go to this guy who's a Jew, and I say, I want you to draw me a swastika on my arm, is he gonna do it? No. Should he be forced to? No. What if a black guy, or a black family, husband and wife, a couple of kids, owns a banquet hall, and at this banquet hall, the Ku Klux Klan wants to have a meeting. They want to have catering and dance floor, and they want to, talk about, sing about Jew stomping and sing about blacks being apes. Okay, should this black family be forced to entertain a Ku Klux Klan meeting? No, they should not be. Okay? It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, it matters that you're entitled to your beliefs. And my cousin is a lesbian who's married to a woman, and one of my friend, the college professor, she asked how I would feel. And I would say, listen, I would explain to my cousin that the guy feels very strongly about it. I would then help them try to find another bakery to make the cake for them. I would then go back to this bakery and I would buy something, not a wedding cake, at my own expense, to show this bakery there's no hard feelings. Okay, and I've had a lot of times where guys say, I'm uncomfortable with this. Please don't ask me to do it. I don't want to do this. And you have to respect their beliefs. Okay, I mean, it's just the truth. And my friend, the college professor, she's appointed to a gay and lesbian civil rights board here in the county, even though she's heterosexual. But she said, as a member of this gay and lesbian civil rights board, how do I feel? And I feel they were discriminated against. I feel they should be penalized. And I said, well, last year you committed an act of discrimination yourself. And your act of discrimination was very bad. What do you mean? I'll tell you the exact date, October 2nd, 2017. You know what she did, right? I talked about it once before. The County Convention Center, which I got my 2 pieces of artwork from Bill Abrams and Joe Center respectively, I'm pointing them on the wall. I went there for a comic book convention with my father when I was younger, and even though my friend and the college professor, graduated high school off the football field, every class after us has graduated school, not from the campus itself, but from the county center. Now, my friend said blatantly, the county center is a public place. She admitted that. And she also admitted that she has used the county center herself for dress pickups and other shit for her chatties. And she said, I don't want gun shows there. Well, you admitted it's a public place. You admitted you use it. Why is it okay for you to use a public place, but not someone else? Simple question. And it's one thing if you say, like, the guy told the gay couple he made them a dozen things before, he'll make them a dozen things in the future, he even asked around to get them another baker to make their cake for them. But this is one guy on his private property who denied one request to one customer on religious grounds. Okay, he made them a million other things in the past, and he promised to make a million more in the future, but on one specific request, he denied on religious grounds. Okay, well, you are banning an entire group of people from not your property, but from public property, and you don't have a religious reason. And she was actually talking to me many months ago, back in October, on Facebook, and she showed me an advertisement. She commented in the description box an advertisement from the gun show, and she's like, "This is why we need to ban the gun show." And this is a college professor. Okay, college professors tell their students to do research before taking action. Do research before writing a paper. She's showing me an advertisement that she didn't even read herself, because the advertisement she was showing me said blatantly all state and federal laws must be complied with. And she saw, military surplus arms. She interpreted that as machine guns. Okay? Now keep in mind, she literally skipped right over the part that said state and local laws will be complied with. Okay? She was completely oblivious to the fact that every gun show in Westchester County has been accompanied by active police presence to make sure there's no crimes being committed. Keep in mind, she didn't bother researching what a military surplus arm is. Keep in mind that how can someone think that a specific location is exempt from the law? I mean, how can you think that if you go to a gun show, you are magically not required to comply with the law? That's kind of crazy to think that, like, I can go to a gun show and buy a fucking machine gun. I mean, even if you didn't see the part that said state and federal laws must be complied with, even if you didn't know that the county police have an active presence on the property, okay, you have to assume that you can't just go to some convention center and magically be exempt from the law. So her thing was based on ignorance, and she was signing petitions to get the gun show banned, and she was encouraging her friends to call county legislators and get the gun show banned. And I said, that's discrimination. Well, it's not discrimination because it's a lifestyle, not a sexual orientation. I said, no, you're discriminating against a group of people. So if a baker can get $100,000 fine because he told one customer that he would do any request except one on his personal property on religious grounds, and he gets $100,000 fine, how high is your fine going to be for banning people from a public building, encouraging others to do the same, and not having a religious excuse? Okay? And that's the truth. If the law doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for me either. Now, the Ku Klux Klan, okay, they're allowed to have parades. So that's what freedom is, okay? Do I agree with the Klan? Of course not. But, if the Ku Klux Klan can walk down the street wearing white robes and white hoods, why can't a group of guys go to a convention center to buy guns? Even if they're agreeing to comply with all state and federal laws, even if the police are going to be watching them right away. Okay? And that's basically what it is. Now, I have to agree with the Supreme Court here, because you can't force people to do things, okay? Because then you can force me to pay for an abortion, which is a violation of my religion and my morality religion aside. Okay? You can't force a guy that he doesn't want to do. And, you know, if I wanted to go someplace and I said I want to walk around your store with my gun exposed completely, I want to have my pistol on my hip exposed, I want to have a fixed blade knife on my other hip exposed, I want to have my neck knife exposed, I want to have a rifle with a sling over my shoulder, and I want to walk around your store. The guy might be like, wait a minute, I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't believe in violence. Should I sue him in federal court to have the right to walk around his property with weapons? Can I? Look at the movie Heartbreak Ridge. No, not Heartbreak Ridge. No. Heartbreak Ridge is Clint Eastwood. Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is a true story. A couple little historical problems, but Hacksaw Ridge is a true story about Desmond Doss, D-O-S-S, who enlisted in the army. He was actually working on a ship as a shipbuilder during World War II, which is very important. But when he got his draft notice, rather than saying, I'm a shipbuilder, he went into the army. He didn't believe in violence, didn't believe in guns, didn't believe in killing at all. He went into the army, volunteered to become a medic. Keep in mind that combat medics have to know how to use a rifle, a pistol. Combat medics have to know everything that the guy next to them knows. And a combat medic is a shooter. Only difference is when a guy gets hurt, they become a medic then. He was on a rifle team. He refused to carry a gun. Okay? He refused to qualify with a gun. And he was court-martialed. Now in the movie, his father puts on his World War I uniform and goes to a general who was his commanding officer in World War I and gets a letter and brings it into the court-martial and says, this is a letter from the general, my son cannot be forced to do this. In real life, the general really was the father's commanding officer in World War I, but the father mailed the letter to the court-martial. He didn't go in himself like in the movie does. But Desmond Doss was told, you don't have to carry a gun if you don't want to into combat. You can exempt yourself. So he was in the army during the greatest conflict in human history, part of an infantry team in the Pacific Theater, and he refused to touch a gun, period. And they'd be in the middle of honor. But the principle is, and this is before the 1993 law, this is before all these Supreme Court cases, but he was exempted from gun qualification, exempted from all arms training, because he had a religious objection to it. So if you cannot force an army soldier, who is by definition the property of the United States government, to touch a gun during armed conflict, how the fuck can you force a civilian baker to bake a cake on his own property because it violates religious tenets? And the next case is already coming up. The next case is the florist who had gay customers, gay employees, and had served one gay customer for 10 years straight. But the gay customer said, I'm marrying my boyfriend, please provide floral arrangements for the wedding. And she said, my religion does not allow me to do that. And she said, I will make any floral arrangement you want except that one. And she hugged him on the way out the door. His boyfriend sent off a fiery, social media comment, and the state attorney general got involved. And now that case with the floral arrangement going through the Supreme Court, probably. Okay, but that's the issue. You have a right to practice every right you want, but you don't have a right to take someone else's rights away, nor do you have a right to force someone else to do what you want. And I give the example with the ballet. I hate ballet. Yeah, Black Swan was a good movie. I hate the ballet. I've told women I hate the ballet. I've told girls I hate the ballet. Okay, I've told them that. And I've told ballerinas, I hate your dance, I hate your lifestyle. But I understand you like the ballet, and I understand it's a passion of yours, and I respect your passion. Even though I don't like it, I respect it. And if someone tried to ban the ballet from the Washington County Convention Center, I would be the first person to protest for the ballerinas. You would literally see me with a picket sign outside the convention center, standing next to ballerinas, because even though I don't like what they do, I understand they have a right to do what they do. And I understand that if they lose their rights, I'm gonna lose my rights. So that's what this is the case of. Okay? You can't force a Jew to make you pork or shellfish. You can't force a Hindu to make you steak. Okay? You can't force a black man to host your Klan rally. Okay? Because there has to be some sort of limit. And if I walked into some place and I said, listen, I really, really, really want you to make me this, and they said, I'm terribly sorry, sir, I can't make it for you because it violates my religion, I would vehemently apologize, and I would either select another choice, or I would ask they had a friend that would make it for me. I would never, ever, ever force any person from doing what they didn't want to do. Okay? I was a day camp counselor back in the day, many generations ago. When I was 14, we had a woman. She would not take the kids swimming. Because to take the kids swimming, she had to put on a bathing suit. And her religious beliefs were she should never show her legs to a man, except whoever would be her husband one day. And we would be outside at 90-degree heat, and this woman would have a long skirt down to her ankles, heavy skirt down to her ankles, and she would not show us her legs. She could go into the changing room and take off all her clothes for the girls. But in the company of men, with the exception of the man who would eventually be her husband one day, she would not show a man her legs. And she was exempted from pool duty on religious grounds. Okay, we could not force her to go in the pool. We could not force her to take her skirt off. Her religion. That's the way it works, guys. And if we pulled off her skirt, put on her bathing suit, and threw in the pool with men, she would have sued for so much money. It would have been disgusting. Alright, I'm rambling out here. I gotta go. Good night. Or good morning, rather.